Okay, here's the video. Ow! Okay, I marked the harness with a sticker. This black line is key, and then you can read voltage here in Chinese. So you know the voltage side is here, the key is here, and then the rest of the controls. If you plug that in the wrong way, you're really going to be in a lot of trouble, because I took the pins out, but there is no actual key in this harness. Power side, power line. Okay, here's the Nintendo plug, and here is, you can see 5 volts, 12, negative, whatever. These are the little U-shaped guys that you'll put on a switcher. But for now, you know, you can use the Nintendo power supply. It also will give you the negative 5 volts you need with that cable. And I extended it a bit. You can kind of see from here to there. Give it another 1.5 feet. So hopefully, you know, you won't have any problem, because the adapter is going to make this thing way up high on top of the PC. Here's just some extra ground wires. I just wrapped them up, insulated the ends. What else did I do? This is obviously a jamma harness, so it has 2-player buttons. I just tied them up and threw a strap on them, so you can put them aside. This is player one. Player one buttons. And I supplied you with player one is that blue one that's hanging loose, because you're only going to use the one button, right, for jump, and the other 5 buttons, 2 through 6, are just wound up, and you can lay them aside. There is no ground. You'll see why in a minute. Okay, I'll throw that over my shoulder. These 2 brown wires, I don't know why. These 2 brown wires are your start buttons, player 1, player 2. I guess I should have ran them up with the buttons, but whatever. So this is all control stuff. We get into joysticks. There's 4 inputs for a joystick, and this daisy chain ground. You will daisy chain this ground on the joystick, 4 switches. You will, and also on the 2 switches on the start buttons and the switch on the jump button. You will daisy chain that, and then whatever's left, just cut it off and save it for later, in case you ever hook up something else. All right, so that will give you the ground to all the buttons on the control panel, and that is also your 4 joystick buttons. What else do we separate here? Like I said, this is 1, 2 start. Once you daisy chain the ground, you put this on the positive side of your buttons, start buttons. This is the adaptation kit I made for you, because your coin door has the original Donkey Kong harnesses. Plugs, these are the female plugs that represent the plugs that would normally be on the board. So you have service, coin, counter is disconnected. I mean, I can get 24 volts off the Nintendo power supply, but I really think things can get really complicated. If I feed 24 volts through this, and then you have to figure out what side. I don't have the proper connector. So what it is, I marked it as counter. I don't know why I put plus, because I don't know if it sends a ground signal, like it's charged with positives on one side, it sends a ground signal to click it, or this sends a positive signal and the other side is grounded. I don't know. So, but you'd only use that if you ever use a jamma game, because jamma games use 12 volt counters. Yeah. So anyhow, so there you go. Test. Oh yeah, service. You have the adapter for service. You know, because you can also coin up the machine like that. There's your actual coin. This is test. If you buy one of them jamma boards like that 412-in-1 or whatever, you're going to need that test. I mean, you could just put a button on the end of that and stick it in the cabinet. You don't really have to put it in the control panel. This is your audio. Positive, negative. I got the polarities correct here. with Nintendo. That's a Nintendo plug. So what you're going to do is, when you're using JAMMA, plug that into the speaker, right? And when you're using Nintendo, use your audio line and plug it directly into your Donkey Kong board. That way you can get and use that original amp. You'll see that you get that original sound, you know. That's only for JAMMA. Now here's another adapter. This is your video. This would normally be, like, say, on the board. You have two choices. You can plug the video into this, your video cable, okay, and you can run it up to the monitor, or you can plug the video directly into the board. It's up to you. But if you're using JAMMA, you're going to do it through here, right? And then you're going to put it on the inverted side, or non-inverted. No, yeah, you got to put it. I know it's reversed because it's actually a inverted signal that it needs, and it says non-inverted. That's where you plug Nintendo in normally. And when you plug in JAMMA, you would plug in here for JAMMA and run it up, and then plug it on that inverter board. You would plug it on the inverted side to make it inverted, because that's what the monitor requires. So what I think is best is just hook your cable to this and run it up to the monitor, and stick it on the non-inverted side of the adapter, the inverter board, and then you have that little jumper that goes from there onto the monitor. If you have brightness issues with the monitor, you know, that little board may cut down the signal a little bit, then go directly from here or directly from the board directly to the monitor and bypass that inverter board. What else? A couple extra grounds. Couldn't really find a reason to justify running them all the way up other things. This is player 2, left, right. Again, you may not be using that. You just throw that aside in the cab, or you aren't using it, but maybe if you build a controller in the future. And then again, I think we're back to the power again. Yeah, so you just plug that in and away you go. I'm gonna put shrink wrap on these 4. I don't know why when you look at this thing you have red. Red is 5 volts. I know traditionally you think red is 12, but it's not. It's like computer stuff. Computers the same way. You know, I'm used to automotive, but anyhow. Red is 5, yellow is 12, ground is ground, which is black. And then you got green. You think, well, green's ground? Yeah, I'll stick that on ground. Oh, be careful. Obviously the Chinese are not the best in the world at standardizing things. They don't give a rat's ass, so use what's on hand and it's cheap. So green is -5 volts, and that -5 volts is normally great. Even power supplies, a lot of new power supplies don't even use -5 volts. The boards don't use it, but it was there. They still kept it standardized. It's gray as -5 volts. So when the day comes, I got it marked -5 volts on that green one. You know, just remember that this harness is from China and it's not 100% standardized. They tried their best, but obviously they don't give a crap if you screw up. You bought the product. What are you going to do? Jump on an airplane? So that's it. That's your harness, all broken up, put into separate harnesses and sections and marked out. Adapters attached. Tonight I will just do a little test on it, double check my work, but I'm pretty damn good at this stuff, so I don't think I'll have to worry too much about it.
Really? Well, let's go to McDonald's and get an Egg McMuffin. Okay.
Let's get an Egg McMuffin.